Hey guys, it's Boss Namza. So guys, as you can clearly see from the title, I'm going to be reviewing Be Careful What You Wish For, an album by Aka and Anatii. But before we get into that, I'd just like to say that, what guys, I'm creating a music website, music platform that's better than SoundCloud, called covernames.com. It's going to be launching in September. Basically guys, on the website you can do what I'm going to be doing now, which is review albums, or which is rate albums, rate artists, rate music. It's going to be a great music platform. You as a user, you can upload, you can rate music, you can allow your own music to be rated by others according to verses, bars, hooks, etc. And you can also rate the artists themselves. This beef between Aka and Anatii, Aka and Casper, will be squashed on my site, because you can actually rate Aka according to his lyricism, his flow, his strength, his weaknesses, and his overall. And we can finally all see who's better between Aka and Anatii, or in the minds of the South Africans. But enough promoting for my website for now. That's going to be launching in September. Let's get straight into this album review. Alright, so now the first track that we get into in Be Careful What You Wish For is called Bryanston Drive. What a great way to start the album. Aka kills it basically, which is what he's going to be doing throughout the whole album. Anatii handles with his humming, and he adds a little bit of here and there, but majority of the track is Aka. So basically how I'm going to rate this song is through the rating system that will be on covernames.com, which is essentially through the intro, through the beat, through the hook, through the verses, and overall. So I rated the song as follows. I gave the intro a 6, I gave the beat a 7.5, I gave the hook an 8. Verse 1 was fire. I gave that verse 8.5. And verse 2, it's not as great as the first one, but verse 2 got an 8. So overall, this track got a 7.6, Bear in mind guys, this is just my opinion, this is what essentially you'll be able to do on Cover Namza, which is rate the music yourself. You're on your own, you don't have people to pressure you to say anything. This is what you'll be doing. So yeah, this is just me doing what I'll be doing on Cover Namza. I said a lot of doing there. Now we're going to the second track called 10 Fingers. They released this track quite a bit of time before the album got released. Still straight fire though. It's a club banger. Aka kills it as usual, but Anatii just stepped it up with the hook. Man, guys, this whole album and their hooks, it's crazy. Anatii is the plug for hooks. I won't even lie. So I rated the album as follows, or I rated the song as follows. The intro I gave a 6.5. The beat I gave a 7.5. The hook I gave an 8. Verse 1 I gave a 7.5. Verse 2 I gave an 8, because Aka did up the ante when it came to the flow, when it came to the speed of the delivery. He upped it up. But then with verse 3 he toned it down a bit, so I gave verse 3 a 7.5. And overall, as a result, the song has a 7.5 rating. Now the third track, it's not really a track, it's called Psalms 1000. I don't know why they added this in the album, because we all thought it was going to be a 10-track album. Guys, it's a 9-track album, because this is just it could be an interlude to the next song, but at the end of the day it's useless. It's a waste of time in my opinion. Now we're going to the fourth track, third track really, but the fourth track on the album, called How You Like Me Now. This song sounded a bit too similar to 10 Fingers in my opinion. Yeah man, lyrically I felt like they could have done better, but I mean, it's a very nice chilled song, So this is how I rated the song. I felt like the intro was really dope, so I gave that a 7. The beat, like I said guys, it's a very chill song. It's not the best beat on the album, so I gave it a 6. But the hook though, I mean, like I said guys, Aka and Anatii, these guys know how to create hooks. I gave the hook a 7.5. Now verse 1, this is when Anatii comes in. Man, I feel like Anatii has rap better. he can rap better. He just didn't do it for me on this track. I gave verse 1, which is essentially his verse, a 6. But then of course verse 2, you know, Aka comes to save the day. Not his strongest verse, but I gave him a 7.2. So overall, you know, the song gets a rating of a 6.7. Not the greatest rating, especially for an album with these 2 stars. I feel like anything below 7 is unacceptable. Now let's go into the 5th track of the album called Camps Bay 3. To be honest, I didn't dig the beat too much. I feel like Aka didn't perform at all. You know, basically on this track, Anatii carried the song, which is surprising because when you've got a track with Aka, you don't expect anyone else to carry the song but Aka, you know. To be honest, they were just lazy on this track. So I rated the track as follows. The intro I gave a 5.5. The beat I gave a 6. The hook I gave a 6.5, which is the first time that, you know, the hook has been below 7 in my rating. Verse 1 was lukewarm, it was dead average. I gave that a 6.5, and verse 2 was just, man, garbage, you know. Not garbage, but I mean, like I said, guys, these 2 artists, you expect so much. Anything below 7 is unacceptable, but you know, I felt like verse 2 was a 6, you know. So overall, this track for me got 6.1. Definitely one of the worst tracks of the album. I really didn't like the song, I didn't enjoy it at all. Now let's move into the 6th track on the album called Holy Mountain. Straight fire. To be honest, it's the first time where Anatii, you know, lyrically competed with Aka. Just bars after bars, man. You know, Aka obviously bodied his verse, but the way they both enter the hook, it's just golden, man. So this is how I rated the track. The intro I gave a 7.5. The beat I gave an 8 because I really fucked with the beat. Hook I gave an 8.5. Verse 1 I gave a 7.5, and verse 2 I gave an 8. So overall, this track gets a 7.9 rating, which is the highest rating so far. Now let's move into track 7. Don't forget to pray. Yeah. This is a club banger, alright? No doubt about it. Anatii especially surprised everyone with this track, you know, with his verse, especially when he was mixing it with Xhosa, you know. Hey, Chinibudin. Hey, man. Lyrically, he stepped up. Anatii really made this track special, you know. Aka just did his usual thing, you know, but for me, Anatii took this track home. So this is how I rated the song. So intro I gave a 7.8, you know. The beat I gave an 8. The hook I gave an 8. Verse 1 got an 8.2, and verse 2 got an 8.5. So this is the first time that Anatii has beaten Aka lyrically, in my opinion, on this album. So overall, this album gets an 8.1 rating, which is the highest so far, you know. Yeah, I know this track is really hot. It's just one of those tracks that you can jam to all the time. Now, as we get into track 8, called Angels, man, guys, this is my personal favorite. Man, this track is just fire. Like, I love this track. This is the best track on the album for me. The flow on this track is insane. I just can't get over how, you know, easy, you know, and consistently Aka and Anatii make hooks. Guys, like, these guys, their duo, it's just crazy, man. To be honest, it's like Kobe and Shaq, man. You know, this track is just perfect for, you know, when you're in the car and you're starting your car, and you know, you're just looking for that perfect track to start the car with, you know, and to go with, you know. You know, when you just switch on the car and then you switch the song on full blast. But I digress. This is the song to jam in the car. This is aux cable vibes, you know. If you play this song with the aux, if you're the aux DJ, man, you can't go wrong with this track. Anyways, enough about this track. Let me go straight into the rating. I gave the intro an 8. I gave the beat an 8.6. I gave the hook an 8.2. Verse 1, I gave 8.5. You know, Aka just murdered this track. and verse 2, you know, Anatii held his own, so I gave the verse 2 an 8. So overall, this track receives a rating of 8.3, which is the highest. This is the highest rating of this album. Yeah, it's straight fire, guys. You should listen to it. If you haven't listened to the album, just go straight to Angels and you won't be disappointed. Now we go straight into the 9th track called Jesus Plug. You know, AKA basically carried this track, guys. To be honest, it takes some getting used to, you know. It's not a track that you'll just enjoy the first time you listen to it, in my opinion. I feel like after a while you kind of appreciate the music, but this is how I rated the song. So the intro I gave a 6.6. The beat I gave it a 6.8. The hook I gave a 7. Verse 1 I gave an 8, and verse 2 I gave a 7.4. You know, so it's not too bad. But overall, the song gets a rating of 7.1. It's not the greatest song, but it does hold its own. Now, last but not least, guys, track 10, the Saga. I don't lie, guys. We've all heard the Saga before, you know. It's an old track, but this track is still fire to this day, you know. I feel like they shouldn't have put this in the album because we've all heard it before, and we've all heard it so many times before. You know, it was the 2015 anthem, you know, drop her ass off, UJ. You know, we all know that track, you know, we all know that line. But it's still fire. The beat is insane, you know, and I feel like in the Saga, Anatii really showed us that he could rap, you know. He showed us his true colors. I mean, really, he dominated this track, you know. In terms of consistency, you know, AK just came and he delivered and he did his thing, you know. I'm still surprised that it's on the album because this was Anati's track originally, you know. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, guys, anyways, this is how I rated the song, you know. I gave the intro a 7.8. I gave the beat an 8.8 because the beat is fire. I'm sorry. I gave the hook an 8.2. Verse 1, I gave it 8.1, you know. Verse 2, I gave it 8.4. Verse 3, I gave it a rating of 7.8. And the last verse, verse 4, I gave it a rating of 8.2. So overall, guys, this track receives a rating of 8.2. It's the second highest rating or second highest rated track on this album, according to myself. But yeah, man, guys, other than that, this was a fire album, you know. It really was. Like I said, guys, the way I rated this, it's gonna be on ournamzo.com, my website. It's coming soon. It's launching in September. So if you disagree with what I'm saying, don't hate in my comment section, you know. Just. And when the platform is out there, you guys can speak for yourselves. You know what I mean? But overall, guys, you know, this album gets a 7.5 rating, with all the tracks put into consideration. And yeah, man, I gotta say, guys, I'm a bit disappointed, you know. I'm a bit disappointed at the amount of tracks they put into the album. I feel like, you know, they could have created more tracks, you know, because like I said, there's 9 tracks in this album. I don't count Psalms, 1000, whatever. I don't count it because it's not a song, you know. But out of the 9 tracks, they released 4 before the album got released. Like, they released 4. People heard 4 of the tracks of the album. That's like half of the tracks. And for me, I feel like that's a bit disappointing because with an album, you want to listen to an album, you know, knowing the fact that, you know what, you're going to listen to something brand new, you know, you're going to listen to a lot of new stuff. But that's not the case with this album, you know. I'd understand maybe if there was like 15 tracks, 20 tracks on the album, then I'd say, you know what, releasing 4 tracks is great. But if you release half of the album, you know, people already, they know what to expect in the album. That shouldn't be the case. I mean, guys, also if you think about it, they put the Saga. The Saga is almost 3 years old now, you know. For me, I feel like they really could have done more. But hey, I guess it's the quality of the album because the quality is excellent, you know. I feel like on this album there's not a lot of tracks you can skip. In fact, there's only one track that I believe you can skip, which is Camp Space 3. I don't fuck with that track, but I mean this album really is quality. I mean, it's one of those albums where that you can listen to every single track and not skip the song. You know what I mean? You really enjoy the album when you listen to it, and I think that was the intention. You know, I think that's why they only made a few tracks. But yeah, man. It is what it is, guys. This is just my opinion. Like I said, guys, like I'm gonna continue saying until my website is launched, you know, and even after that, you guys can do the same on avanamzo.com. Alright, this website is gonna be hot. It's a proudly South African music platform where you guys can rate, allow your music to be rated and upload, of course, you know. It's just gonna be insane, you know. So yeah, man, be on the lookout for that. Obviously, I'll let you guys know when it is out, when it is live. But yeah, so guys, what do you guys think of my rating? Do you guys agree? What is your favorite track on the album? Or do you think that I'm just talking a lot of shit? Even so, it's all good. You guys can do your thing. I just ask that those who enjoyed my rating, please leave a like and subscribe, you know, if you're new here. And yeah, guys, this is your boy Boss Namza signing out. Woo!